Hey, what is going on, everybody? What is going on? It is the Street Conservative coming back to you with another topic. This topic is, as you can see on the screen, pertains to white privilege. And during this video, you're going to see some memes. And those memes are pretty much jokes that people are creating when it comes to white privilege. But when you look at this screen right here, or this picture, and you see that word, I want you to think in your head exactly what you think white privilege is. But what I want you to do is I want you to come up with your own definition. And then after you have created your own definition of the term, then I want you to imagine scenarios in your head of white privilege. Because if you participate in this assignment, and this is like a quick assignment, it should take less than 2 minutes, if that. But I'm pretty sure that majority of you who are now sitting down or standing up, doesn't matter, but who are now imagining examples of white privilege. And when you're imagining those things take place, I'm pretty sure you're imagining a white person helping out another white person. And the reason why I say that is because in this society, that is what we have been taught as people. Majority of Americans in this country believe that white privilege consists of a white individual that's in a certain position of power, taking advantage of his or her resources to help out another white individual that is in a position of that's in a less position of power. That's pretty much what they have taught us. That is what white privilege is. Now, in the past, during the Jim Crow era, that may be true. And the reason why I say that I'm gonna say maybe true. That was true. And the reason why is because during that time, majority of white people had power. At any position, at any job, any position, they have power over the outsiders, which were us black folks. They were able to place strategies in which they can use their positions to not only help their own, but also at the same time keep an outsider at the very bottom. They were able to do that. They were able to do those two things with their one and only position of power that they were in, regardless of what job that you can imagine. But see, now it is 2023. Times have changed, in which now you have more blacks, Asians, Hispanics, what nationality, you have more people outside white America that are now holding on to a position of power in their field in the workforce. And because of that, and when I say that, I'm going back to speaking on black people. The others I was using as an example, but now I'm going back to particularly focus on black people. But you have black people that are in a position of power, and you will think that they will do the same thing whites were doing back in the past. But they are not. What a lot of black individuals who are in positions of power, they're doing the same thing that white people are doing back then during the Jim Crow days, but they're working in reverse. Instead of using their positions to put their own at a level to where they can at a level to where they can enhance their growth at a faster rate. Instead of doing that, they are also using that power to keep their own at the bottom while elevating that other group to a higher level. If I confuse you, then as I go through the video, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen this in your careers. Whatever you're doing from 9 to 5, you've seen this take place before. You'll see this take place before. And what's crazy is the fact that you ignore it. And the reason why you ignore it is because, well, you'll see it, but you won't question it. And the reason why is because, again, our society has taught us that white privilege only means one thing, and that is white people in positions of power helping out their own while keeping everyone else at the very bottom. This is what they're teaching. But they're not teaching you the other side of white privilege. It's where you have black individuals that are holding those same positions of power. And what they're doing is they're also engaging in elevating other white people who are at the bottom and elevating them to a higher level while keeping their own at the very bottom. You have this problem going on all over. So again, when you look at this picture, this photo, I just want you to think about that. I just want you to think in your mind, imagine in your mind how what I just explained, how it relates to white privilege. Just imagine in your mind an individual in your own tribe who holds a certain rank in the workforce utilizes his power or her power to keep you at the bottom while helping another person from outside, helping them elevate into a higher level. I know y'all seen it. I know y'all seen it. Now, the next photo that's going to come up is going to give you the definition of white privilege. Now, I want you to compare that definition with your own definition that you created for yourself at the beginning of this video. I just want you to think about that. I want you to compare your definition of white privilege to what you see on the photo. Because when you do that, you're going to notice that what you thought about is damn near the same, but at the same time, there was a difference, and that difference was that you was looking at it from an angle of what the societal norm is of white privilege. That's how you're gonna look at it. You had the same definition, but it was the same. But now I want you to go back and imagine a again, the people of your own tribe doing that same thing. And when you do that, you'll start to get a better sense of exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Because there's so many examples out there that we see almost every day. You have stories out there from black men and black women where you have they have engaged in conversations with police officers, and let's say the police officer pulled them over. Now, these are stories that men and women, black men and black women, have shared to me. And these are just some examples, but these are also examples that I've seen with my own eyes. You'll be driving down the road. Well, I ain't gonna say you, but I had this woman tell me a story how she was driving down the road, right? She was driving down the road, and the police pulled her over. So she pulled over and she put out her license and registration, all that good stuff, and she rolled down her window. Well, when she was approached by the officer, that's when she realized the officer was a black male. Right? So the officer he approached the window and he was talking to her. But she said that right off the bat, he was coming off with an attitude. Like he was just, the way he approached her is almost like he was trying to push her buttons. And she said she could sense that. Now, what's crazy is that she had someone in the car with her. And that someone was her friend that she knew for a long time. And it was a white girl. Well, let me say white woman. Let me correct that, white woman. And as this man was talking to her, the driver, the black woman, he was coming off with an attitude and whatever the case may be. But like now, let's be realistic. She was the one sitting behind the wheel. So she was the one that obviously was driving. Okay, I got it. But she said that she had to be going maybe over 5 or 10 miles over the speed limit. It wasn't. She knew for a fact that she wasn't driving reckless. So as she was trying to communicate with the police officer, he kept she said she could sense the attitude that he had for her. But the moment when that white woman leaned over from the passenger side and told that police officer to calm down, this black woman told me that she saw this same police officer. The moment this white woman told him to calm down, his entire attitude changed. Now, people might sit there and say that's not a big deal, but actually it is. Because if you have the black woman trying to talk to him and trying to get him to calm down, and he was like just blatantly disrespecting her back, why you didn't do the same thing to the passenger? It's the same thing with these judges. You have judges out there who are black men and black women. They'll sit there and have people approach their courtrooms, and they will have white men or white women go into their courtrooms, and they're in the courtrooms for crimes that they have committed, whether it's felonies or misdemeanors or whatever. And these judges will engage in a conversation in the courtroom to a point where they're not yelling, they're not threatening to hold someone in contempt, they're not grabbing their gavel and swinging at that little plate. I don't know what that's called, but the plate, swinging their gavel down, trying to put order in the court or whatever. But then the moment you have a black woman or a black man walk up to that courtroom with the same crime, it's not a white judge going off on them, mistreating them. It's not a white judge that's yelling at them. It's not a white judge that's threatening to hold them in contempt. It's not a white judge grabbing that gavel and slamming it. No, it's another judge who looks just like them. And it's the same thing at your jobs. You will have, from my experience, you will have women, black women, who will walk up to a group of other black people, whether it's a girl, whether it's boy, a man or women, and yet those same women who have a higher education, they have a higher position in that job, so they're supposed to be highly professional, more professional than the workers. But those same women will walk up to that group and they'll start speaking as if they're out on the streets, or they'll start speaking as if they're still in the ghetto, like they're staying out in the ghetto. And I find that to be an insult. And the reason why I find that to be an insult is because you have those individuals that stand around in that group who are just as educated as she is, who's just as professional as she is, and yet she's talking to them as if that's the only way they can understand things. But that same person will walk up to a group full of white men and white women and start talking to them as if they're out in the cafeteria at Harvard. They're talking to them politely. They're being keen on the responses they give. They're being tactful on how they come across. And I think that's insulting. But now, why am I giving out these stories? Because these stories are an example of white privilege. Because just like I said in the video, back then, during the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, whatever, yes, you have more white people in leadership positions, and that allowed them to set the table in which they're elevating their own into a higher level, and they're keeping our own at the bottom. But again, now times has changed. You have more black people in those same positions of power. But what they're doing is they're doing the same thing that white people did in the past. But they're not doing it for the benefit of their own group. They're still doing it in the benefit as how the white people are doing it. It benefits their group. You have workers out there that are clocking in at 9, clocking out at 5. Sometimes earlier, sometimes later. And they're literally going to work walking on eggshells. And the reason why they have to go to work and walking on eggshells is because they have a boss. They have a boss. Whether it's whether it's a black man or a black woman, they have a boss that's scrutinizing every movement that they make. And while they're focused on this young black man or a young black woman, while they so focused on them, right outside their perimeter, they have their white employees goofing off and doing what the hell they want to do, pretty much running amok, and they're not seeing it. They don't want to see it. Because it's not like those employees are being slick about it. They're out there doing it. But see, the thing is that in that boss's mind, they feel like those employees can do that specifically because they're white. And I know a lot of you guys have experiences with this. A lot of you guys can go into the comment section and share your stories. But this is a big problem. This is a problem that we have in our culture. This is a big problem. You have black women who who will date the men of their tribe. They'll date these men, and these men will walk around, and these men will literally walk around thinking to themselves that they're dating another man. Because when these women are dating their men in their tribes, these women are acting just like men. Like, why the hell are you being strong and independent when you got a man right there with you? You have a full-grown man with you, but you sitting there treating him like he's your 12-year-old son. You got a man right there with you, but you're questioning his judgment, and as if he doesn't know what he's doing. You treat him like he's incompetent. I mean, you literally got him going crazy because he's feeling like every move that he makes, you're going to say something about it. And when you do say something about it, you're not saying it in a good way. You're saying it in a way to where you criticize him. You're not giving him constructive criticism. You're just criticizing. You're beating him down. But then you'll have this calling to where you want to date outside your race, and when you do so, it is your right. I mean, everybody should be able to date outside their race. Times have changed now. But when you do date outside your race and you find you a white man, you at the complete opposite. You don't question every move he makes. You don't talk to him like he's your 12-year-old son. You don't walk around all manly. Now people on YouTube have sat there and called that out, and when they had called that out, you have other women who are content creators on YouTube that will get out there and say, the reason why we don't act that way around white men because white men are providers. This is what they say. The reason why we don't treat white men like that when we date them is because they are providers. For you to assume that white man is a provider is white privilege in itself that you are practicing. And on top of that, it's funny to me that y'all put that excuse out there, but you will have black men out there that's doing their business. They're doing their business. They're moving up the corporate ladder. They're doing everything they can to compete with those other men in their group. And you have some black men out there that's actually exceeding those men from other groups. But yet, on average, those same black men are still facing the same hardships when it comes down to their relationship. And I'm not picking on black women. I'm not, because you have black men out there that's doing the same thing too. You have black men out there that they're with these black women and they don't have because they're with this black woman, they feel like they don't have to have nothing going for themselves. And again, they're living with them. They're not working. They're just taking advantage of that. They're just taking advantage of that woman. But as soon as they get outside their race, then all of a sudden they want to act like they want to act like they're all about their business. And that's white privilege in itself. Like, I don't understand what it is and why it's happening, but it's been happening for a very long time, and I just never understood it. I never understood the concept of our own men and women in our group doing more harm to us than what the others are doing to us. And then at the same time, our own are not only causing us, like not doing us any justice, but they're helping out the others elevate. But we're supposed to believe that white privilege is solely based on white people looking out for other white people. Because see, white people looking out for other white people, that's not white privilege. That's just not. That's being smart. You're supposed to take care of your own. You're supposed to take care of your own. Why is that a problem? You have Hispanics out there who come through this country and they try to come up with their own business. And what they do is they group up with each other and they put their resources together, and then they come out with some business, let's say like a lawn service. And they when they come out with this lawn service, they come up with all these ideas, and with all these ideas comes more jobs. More jobs comes more employment. More employment becomes more opportunities for individuals to take advantage of those employments. And guess who they go to? They go to their own. They give their own jobs. I don't find an issue with that. I don't find no issue in that. That's smart. That is smart. It's the same thing with the agents. Agents do it all the time. There's nothing wrong with people getting together and taking care of each other. Slowly on the fact that they are in the same group. There's nothing wrong with that. That's supposed to happen. But for some reason, black people haven't gotten that memo. A lot of you guys will sit there and move up the corporate ladder, and as you moving up the corporate ladder, you'll sit there and kick down your own and send them back down to the bottom, or keep them at the bottom by elevating someone else doesn't even look like you. You helping them go up. And what's crazy is the fact that a lot of the men and women of your tribe, they actually have the credentials to be successful. But you overlook all that. You have something to prove. It's not like those guys. It's not like those same men and women are goofing off or doing something stupid. Because if they were, then at the end of the day, they have to take the responsibility and realize their errors. They have to work on their ways to improve themselves. So I get it. I'm not saying that you have to sit there and look out for people regardless if they're doing something stupid or not. No, if they're doing something stupid, then at the end of the day, when it comes down to the ethics, you have to sit there and treat them as such. If they're not giving the appropriate, if they're not exercising the performance that's required for them to move up the ladder, then don't give them the promotion. That's just fair. But you have individuals, men and women, that's actually performing above standard. They're performing above standard, and because you at a higher position and you want to sit there, you're thinking to yourself that you have something to prove to the others. You overlook those individuals, and you're doing it intentionally. You're doing it intentionally because somewhere locked in your mind, you believe that if you help your own, that's gonna make you look bad. It's not going to make you look bad because why? Because again, just like I said, other races are people that understand the game. They'll respect you more going that route. Then they'll respect you by going the route of being biased towards your own. They'll take advantage of it because at the end of the day, you're helping them out, so they'll take advantage of it. But they're not going to respect you. They're just not. They're not. Like it's so much self-hate in the black community that it's like beyond sickening. So much self-hate. So much self-hate. So much of it. But again, let me know your experiences in the comment section. Share your stories, and if you don't have any stories, then share your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching the video. Continue to support the video by liking the channel or subscribing to the channel. And for the ones who have subscribed to the channel, I appreciate your support. I appreciate the support, and I promise you I'm trying to get better at this, okay? I owe it to you that I provide quality content, and I'm trying to get better. Trust me. But at the end of the day, I need you guys to take care of yourselves, because you are your top priority. And along with that is your family. Again, happy Friday. And with the weekend coming up, I hope you guys stay safe. Be on the lookout for more of my videos. Again, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you next time. Peace.